It looks like a volcano eruption, but actually it is not. It is just a Russian oil port. Yep, it's the port of Tuapse, the second largest for Russia in the Black Sea. It was partially disabled. Today, Ukraine hit several of the reservoirs together with very sensitive equipment that Russia will have to repair in a few months. Yeah, of course, if they have resources for that, because Ukraine hit multiple of the Russian ports, especially in Baltics, Ust-Luga, Primorsk, before Novorossiysk was partially disabled, and now you may see Tuapse. And just for you to show the location, this is Caucasus, Russian Federation. If we zoom into Tuapse, it's that port, and something here was definitely hit today, or it's better to say already yesterday. Russians were filming those interesting videos. They say that they feel the heat from the burning fire. It is literally like a volcano eruption. And this photo gives us the perspective from the nearby buildings. Actually, they're very close to the storage. And you may see that one drone hit this place, the other drone hit that place, the third and the fourth drone hit different of the storages. I believe that this place, like, there were multiple of the drones which were flying to Tuapse, and they were not intercepted by the Russian air defense because the air defense was disabled before. For example, this video was published of how the Russian air defense system was put on the top of some of the hill, which is of course artificial made, and it was placed in the middle of the oil storage. Well, it was hit. It's supposed to defend an oil storage, but it wasn't capable to defend itself. It definitely shows how effective Ukrainian long-range drones could be. My friends, just a short reminder, please press like to this video and subscribe for the channel. It really helps a lot to propel video and my entire content in algorithms. Also, please support my job on Patreon. The link for it is in the video description right below, or you may press button join right here to join membership of YouTube channel. Without your support, my job wouldn't be possible, so thank you so much for it. And now let's continue with the video. And this is the perfect picture for Magnite. If someone visits Tuapse, you may print it out. Good for the fridge elsewhere. So this is the name of the city, Tuapse, in Cyrillic, some of the tower they have, and volcano eruption on the background. This improvised eruption was even spotted on satellite images. A big, huge cloud is out there. Well, Russians should introduce special ash tam for the civil aviation. Ash tams are used to highlight the area for airmen to avoid in case of volcano activity. Well, I would introduce ash tams all across Russia, because you never know where those eruptions might happen. Definitely it's huge, and it's going from one tank to another, and I believe it's not the last time Ukrainian drones are visiting this facility, and there are lots of the fuel tanks, or oil tanks, it's better to say, left. And this is outstanding scenery, a picture of the Tuapse city with the port, very beautiful. They should put those kind of the pictures in their museums, in official government buildings, and so on. It definitely shows a might of the Russian air defense. Yeah, the big tanks are definitely on fire, and also the part of the pipelines, some of the pumps, and very sensitive infrastructure. Ukraine nails everything down. And here is a very detailed satellite image. You may see lots of the oil tanks are on fire. You saw this image on the thumbnail, but just one more time to show it to you. This is outstanding, guys. So Novorossiysk, Ust-Luga, Primorsk, now Tuapse, probably the only port which is out of the range for Ukrainian long-range drones, is Murmansk. But Murmansk is working just for the warm period of the year, spring and summer time. But I believe that Ukraine has all of the chances to reach even Murmansk someday. And here's how our drone operators choose their targets and what particular tank to hit. For example, those three tanks, they are full of oil. It is visible on a thermal camera. And those three tanks, they're empty. They're unable to accumulate the heat during the daytime to release it afterwards, like the full tanks do. So of course, thermal cameras they must have for those long-range strike missions, especially against Russian oil facilities, oil ports, oil storages, oil refineries. And there are lots of the videos coming from the place. Lots of the Russians film that stuff, and they still use Telegram, they still use some of the social media via VPN. And VPN is still not blocked in Russia, but officially Telegram, you cannot access it on the Russian territory without using VPN. Telegram is working to bypass those regulations and restrictions, but so far not successfully. Only VPN helps. Yeah, if I show all of those videos published, it would take an entire video, so just for you to understand, it was a big kaboom. And here are the firm's satellite images with the confirmation of the multiple of the strikes happened in Tuapse the last night. Ukrainian attack was definitely successful. And I just wonder if Ukrainian drones may visit the same port this evening, because with Ust-Luga it was like that. Multiple consecutive strikes for several days. Kaboom was possible because of the effectiveness of Ukrainian FP-1 and FP-2 drones. Here it was a Russian Buk air defense system which was hit, and here you may see a refinery on territory of Crimea that was hit. There are lots of the videos like that published online, and this is the headquarters of the Russian army. It was kaboomed. Apparently there was the storage of the Russian Rubicon drone unit. Yeah, the drones alone couldn't down this damage, for sure there was something inside. At the same time, Russia also hits Ukraine. This is the auto dealer center of Mercedes, and I know the location of this place, because I bought my car there. Yeah, I bought their Opel, not Mercedes, back in 2012, and there are lots of the dealer centers, one after another, so Opel, Nissan, Toyota, Mercedes, Kia, and so on. This is called Kiev Auto Center, right at the circle road around Kiev. Apparently for Russians, Mercedes is definitely a serious threat. And Kia as well. There were multiple of the drone strikes on the same facility, so it's deliberate targeting of the civilian infrastructure, in this case auto dealer centers. Also civilian multi-story buildings were hit all around Ukraine and especially in Kiev. 17 people confirmed to be perished. So it shows that Russia basically wants to continue to terrorize Ukrainians. They have this kind of the barbarian tactics. They're not aiming precisely towards military infrastructure. For them it's just important to spread their terror. And Russians themselves, they are publishing this kind of the video showing Ukrainian train. This is the passenger train. I know those carriages, those wagons, they are carrying passengers, but for Russians it doesn't really matter. And this is the occupied city of Donetsk of Ukraine, for now temporary under the Russian control. Well, they don't need stadium, but Russians definitely need some of the physical training, and Ukrainian drones from the 1st Azov Corps help Russians a lot with the motivation to achieve new results in sprinting. And I see that there is a machine vision. It's not like fully AI, but it highlights the possible target for Ukrainian drone operators and basically helps to navigate. So I'm not sure, but it could be correct that Ukrainian drone operator basically selects the target and drone flies automatically to reach it. So it's not the AI selection of the target, still operator is needed, but then the drone is flying, it doesn't matter whether there is the interference or not, but drone sees it separately with its own camera and just targets usually vehicles pretty much precisely. Again, it is not an AI or something, it is called a machine vision, it has nothing in common with AI. Well, in the future, potentially, it might help AI to define the proper target and to fly fully autonomously, but for now we are quite far away from that type of the technologies, and I wonder if we really need that. Because given AI full authority for taking the decision of what to hit and how to hit, it is kind of risky. And machine vision, it's the separate feature. It is like on DJI drone that follows something, so the tracking feature, it's basically the same. So drone tracks object and shortens the distance. That's it. It just helps operator to highlight moving targets and vehicle looking targets and goes to target those. That's it. But still operator flies it. You see machine vision spotted. This is the truck, this is the truck. But the military truck is over there and it's not yet been spotted. But drone operator saw it. So this is the truck, you may choose this target and send a drone, or you may just manually control the drone for now, and it was highlighted, you see. And you may select it, leaving the drone autonomously on its flight to get into this vehicle. But again, it's not an AI, it's just a tracking feature that works perfectly. I was wondering what side would first implement that kind of the idea that is out there already since 2023. Well, it seems like Ukraine did it first. Alright, new threats are coming from Russia. They insist that Ukrainian drones overfly NATO airspace to hit Russian oil ports. Like, for example, in Ust-Luga it happened recently. So Shoigu Gerasimov from those kind of the series, he said that Russia may implement a United Nations statute for the self-defense against Finland and Baltic countries, because Ukraine is using their airspace for attacks on poor Russian infrastructure. Orwell novel, yeah, attack is defense. It is always like that for Russia, and they haven't started this war. No, it's just a self-defense special military operation. And just yesterday, Russia published the list of the possible infrastructural facilities which are producing, allegedly, according to Russians, some of the spare parts for Ukrainian drones. And today, Shoigu, before Russian media say that the airspace of the Baltic countries are being used by Ukrainian drones, which is hoax. But overall, I see that Russia is looking for possible escalation with a limited special military operation. Well, allegedly, yeah, the signals are being sent to our partners because European Union is up to unblock military support for Ukraine, which might change everything on the front lines. And by the way, there was the question about Slovakia, whether it might block this military support. Well, officially Slovakia said no, they are agreeing on that, but at the same time Slovakia wants to block the 20th sanction package against Russia. Okay, sanctions, they partially just work. The most important thing is Ukrainian military support. Alright guys, now to the front lines, let's go to Liman direction. I'm monitoring not just the Ukrainian services, not just independent services, but also Russian maps. And Ukraine now goes on counterattack in Liman direction. We have the confirmation about it from Russians. They definitely state that Ukraine goes on attack. Moreover, this is the latest Ukrainian counterattack. This is the same part of the map as you may see. And Ukraine gains more of the ground, advancing with the gray zone at least. And there is even the presence of Ukrainian armed forces between Liman and Torske. Also, Ukraine is pushing towards Yampol, so potentially Ukraine may trap the entire Russian group near Dubrovo village. That would be awesome. Ukraine also counterattacks in Dobryshevo, Svetohirsk, Redka Dub, and Novomihailovka. Zero of the attack vectors. Oh, Korovy Yar as well. Well, Russians also keep pushing the Ukrainian side, but Ukraine recently gains more territories, miraculously, even in Liman direction. And why do I say miraculously? Because Ukrainian supply lines, they are not really secured in Liman direction, and Ukraine does everything to push Russians away from those supplies. In Slaviansk and Kramatorsk direction, Russians are trying to get more ground, and partially they're moving with the gray zone, but at the same time Ukraine is counterattacking from Rai Alexandrov, the same freaking area. If we believe Russians, they attack towards west and Ukraine towards south, which is unusual, unnatural, and I have never seen something like that. And here is the same direction, just upscaled image. And again, Ukraine is being confirmed to go to Yampol. This is the Liman direction, which is freaking awesome. In Pokrovsk, it was confirmed that Ukraine started the counterattack towards the southern part of Grishina in attempt to cut Russian supplies towards that village, but Russians, they want to advance towards Dobropilya. So this is the Ukrainian counterattack in Grishina, and this is the Russian attack over here towards Dobropilya. But from the information we have, this attack of the Russian army was cancelled. Ukrainian attack had just limited success. Guys, that's all what I want to tell for today, and please support my job on Patreon. The link for it is in the video description right below. You may also join membership of YouTube channel. If you watch me on YouTube, press button join. Without your support, my job wouldn't be possible, so thank you so much for your support. And my friends, please don't forget to press like to this video and subscribe to the channel, it also helps. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.